I gotta ask you because we're in our 2000. This is like our millennium like tribute episode. Okay, 2003. Do you remember this? Do you remember the WWE's co-branded pay-per-view with Girls Gone Wild?
Oh yeah, 1000%.
Okay. Okay, if anybody doesn't remember it, it was a colossal disaster and major failure. They predicted 500,000 buys, they got 70,000 buys. The show ran 40 minutes short. They kind of advertised like there was going to be wrestling on it, but there ended up not being wrestling on it. I don't think the girls were particularly happy about being there, from what I recall of the sheets at the time. It was just a bunch of, kind of drunk girls around the superstars that were there. And also, I think Snoop Dogg and the guy, Joe Francis, who ran Girls Gone Wild. But what do you remember about it, or hearing about it, or hell, knowing you probably popped up somewhere in the background. You don't know it.
Well, here's the thing.
Y2K Shelly was probably somewhere. Yeah, see, I knew it.
You're not far off. No, because if I had a boob job at that point, oh yeah, 1000%. That's why I'm glad I didn't get it until later, because I would have been one of those people. So for me, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Torrie Wilson involved somehow?
So the big lore was Torrie Wilson versus Nydia in a body challenge, right, or body showing challenge or something like that.
So I'm just being real. This was what year? 2020?
2003. It was 2003, March, okay. 2003.
Oh my, we're right on par with it, aren't we? So
I told you 2003.
So I remember not much. All I remember is they were really heavily pushing it, if you correct me if I'm wrong. So I remember seeing it a lot. And I remember Torrie Wilson being pushed, of being involved. So now I get why, because it was that. And I don't remember the Nydia part, but I remember thinking, well, if Torrie Wilson is down with Girls Gone Wild, then I guess it's okay. And maybe that's something that I need to venture into, because if Torrie Wilson is involved, then maybe that's my way of getting involved into WWF. That's literally my way of Y2K thinking. And so it's crazy because whenever I see spoofs about it or any kind of whatever about Girls Gone Wild, the first thing I always think about is how I, in my 23-year-old brain, thought, if Torrie Wilson's putting the stamp of approval, then it must be okay to do. And
okay,
I don't know. So that's how I looked at it.
Here's a graphic for you of Nydia versus Torrie, Girls Gone Wild body challenge.
And I remember her like being in the crowd of girls. Am I wrong? Am I remembering this wrong? I just remember like Torrie Wilson, and like it looked like Girls Gone Wild, how the commercials did, but just like Torrie Wilson was there and she was like, ah.
Don't remember that. I don't remember that. I remember there being like video of like people taking shots off of her, and Stacy Keibler was there and wouldn't take something off and she got booed. So there was other divas there. I just don't remember all of them that were there. But I mean, go through your timeline of who might have been there in 2003. But I mean, Girls Gone Wild was massive in that era. So it's kind of like anything they touch would turn to gold. But WWE wasn't really hot at the time. So it's like they were just trying to latch onto something. And since their girls were doing Playboy at the time, that was probably a good thing to latch on to. And Nydia was a really good heel. So they could put some sort of heat on her for either not being part of it or refusing to take something off. I don't know. I've never seen it. But I just remember this pay-per-view happening. Huge disaster. I mean, I give them credit for trying it because it was a popular thing at the time. It's the same thing like bringing in Jerry Springer. I mean, Jerry Springer was popular at one time. So you bring him in and everybody cheers. You know what I mean? It's like why they brought in Mike Tyson, too. He was popular and controversial. So what are you going to do? But it's funny that
it's kind of like
I knew there'd be some sort of tie-in.
Just like with the lesbians. I always I always looked at even these not so great ways of showcasing gals that WWF/E did back in the day, I always looked at them as, well, they're opportunities. I was always just, I don't care what the opportunity, because going back to freaking Lisa Marie, freaking Victoria, when she got to be a hoe, that was such a big deal. And at least here in SoCal, and it made it seem like, okay, you just take whatever. And then as she became Victoria, it was even more so like, see, you just need your foot in that door. And going back to our last episode where people were saying that was a ring rat, and I said, no, I'm not. Not in other ways, I've been groupies, whatever. I just want to say this. I had an opportunity to try to like weasel my way in like a shady way, because I remember the first famous here we go, hit the TMI.